What?
So?
Not this again.
All right. This is the Not Just Arin podcast.
Who told you could... okay, first of all, it's only been 10 seconds. Give them a minute. They just got here. Give them a minute.
You try to be slick with that stealth record?
No.
I honestly thought you hadn't, so I guess you have.
Yes.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, that was pretty slick, then. You said you'll find out when you find out.
And
see?
You found out now.
See, well, I found out by forcing it.
No, you found out by finding out.
No, I found out. No, deduction. I was like,
Exactly,
I'm going to fake an intro.
You found out by finding out.
I want you to write a Sherlock Holmes novel, and it's literally less than a page. It's just like, yo, there was a murder, and he found out.
By finding out.
You want to know how? He found out. Like, the end. New York Times bestseller. No, I feel like I came up with a brilliant plan. It was to fake an intro or start the intro.
Okay.
And if you were recording, you would be like, I do the intro. And if you weren't recording, you'd be like, yo, we're not recording. Why are you doing the intro? And there you go. Deduction. That's how you find out. You know what deduction is? It's the art of finding out.
By finding out. Anyway. So you're gonna I think I already asked you this before, but you're just gonna let your hair grow out again. Have you seen my cinematography project since I've made it? Because I found it recently. It wasn't lost or anything.
Wait, why you bring up my hair and then immediately switch topics?
Because your hair was long in that.
Oh, yeah, the cinematography. That was when we were recreating the scene from The Departed. The Departed?
Yes. I did as best as I could with that. I got an 85 on that.
Mm.
I thought I did a fine job. Cinematography was never my strong.
Why do you remember what you got on it?
Because
She's like, it stuck with me.
Yeah, I mean, kinda. I think I got an 85 on it. I didn't get an A because a variety of reasons, but I felt like I did good enough, and that's all that matters. Who
was your partner? Was it John?
It must have been John because it wasn't. You have to bleep that out, but it wasn't him. And then there's the other guy who dropped off the face of the earth. But anyways, I'm gonna have to show it to you. I kept most of my projects from film.
I have all of mine on my Google Drive still.
I think I did at some point, but I had to clear out space because it was taking up a lot of space. Because you only get 15 gigs. That's not enough. I think it's because I kept all the raw files on there too for no reason. There's no reason for me to do that. But anyways.
Well, do you want me to answer the question about the long hair?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like I am somewhat of a lazy person. Mm-hmm. If I don't have to do something, I don't want to do it.
Okay.
Getting a haircut is one of those things. If I don't have to get a haircut, why do I want to get a haircut? It costs money. Mm-hmm. It costs time. Mm-hmm. I don't like the sensation of being covered in little prickly hairs. So if I can just avoid
getting your head shaved,
No, but you cut away the long strands, then you're snipping and maybe buzzing the back of your neck or something. Maybe this is a guy haircut thing.
I think so.
But snipping just the finishing touches or buzzing the back, it's you get those little hairs that just group around your neck. They get all up in there. They're stabbing your neck, and I hate it. And so. What is it? I think I kind of missed the long hair. I was partly inspired by Bo Burnham's Inside. Mm-hmm. I feel like he looks good in that movie.
The Blueprint. Go on.
What?
The Blueprint.
Oh, okay.
For you.
And I was like, oh man, what if I just had long hair again? Now.
Are you gonna try to grow a beard too?
I wish, but I also don't think I would like the sensation of having facial hair. I don't think
I would either.
I hear it doesn't feel good. Yeah, so if I don't want to get a haircut, I don't want to. It costs money, and it's irritating. Wanted to look like Bo Burnham. He looks cool with the long hair. Mm-hmm.
I
think also it was for the winter. I'm it's getting cold.
I don't think it's getting cold anymore.
Well, it was briefly. Okay. And I mean, you check the weather. I think it's going to get cold next week or something. I know it's hot right now, but it was cold this morning. So I was just thinking I could cover myself, protect my head from the elements. And,
you can also use, though.
A hat?
Yes, a hat. You stole my joke from me. I can't believe it.
It's time for you to get a watch. But, you know, who knows? Once I get sick of long hair again, maybe I'll just become a penis skinhead again.
They're not going to know what that means.
Yeah, I know, but it's funny.
I mean, I guess.
I have been thinking about that. I feel like I just want to go.
About shaving your head or penis skinhead?
You know, I can't stop thinking about two things. Quantum physics and penis skinheads. No, just going from one extreme to the next. It's just like go through these waves where it's just like shave my head, like boom, shaved head, let it grow, get long hair again, shave it again, and you know, just get a haircut once every like year and a half or something. You know, that sounds like fun. It sounds like a good use of my time instead of once every. I feel like there's some in middle school.
I guess, but it's not like, I don't know, using your time any specific way. You're just existing. I'm not wasting my time getting a haircut. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Well, I share the same philosophy because since I've been living here, I haven't like gone to a hair salon. I always do my own hair. And today it's particularly obvious because it looks a mess. But, you know, I've gotten pretty good at doing my own hair. For some reason, my mom, I don't know what it is about her. Our number 2 fan, she's
I think she stopped listening.
Well, I mean, yeah, we can still make jokes about it. It's a running joke at this point.
Well, I feel like, we can make jokes about it, but I feel like for accuracy's sake. For accuracy's sake, my mom, according to her, hasn't listened to any podcast episodes aside from the first one. Well, I was going to say, I guess if Patricia, whenever she makes it to this episode, assuming she continues at the pace that she's going, like she is, I feel like now our number 2 fan. We have Melissa, number 1. My mom has been usurped. Yeah. We have Melissa, number 1 fan. Patricia, number 2 fan. Illusion Neil, number 3 fan. Alicia O'Neill, and then your mom, at number 4, and then after that, who knows? We got John, we got Nathan, we got none of them are confirmed to have listening. So we can talk as much trash as we want. And then like, yeah, you know, they'll talk to me like later. It's like, yeah, I checked, or John was like, yeah, I checked out the podcast. You know, I don't know if I appreciated the shout out in episode 7. You know, is this? Yeah, I guess this is episode 7. How do you know this and I don't? This is wild. Anyways, I don't know. I guess I've been thinking about it lately because I've been having to tell people about it. It's like, yeah, we've done a couple episodes. Well, 7 is more than a couple, but you know, but yeah, my mom for some reason. But we've done several. This is true because you know, several equals 7. You know, I got in a fight with my 2nd grade teacher about that. Really? Yeah. Wow. I mean, she was a mean lady. She was not a nice teacher, but she we got into like some semantical argument where like she was like, yeah, I want you to do like several of these, and I was like, yeah, that means 7, like, and she was like, no, it doesn't, like, and now I'm just like this little, you know, 2nd grader, just like, yeah, several means 7, and like I don't know why, like, shouldn't just be like, yo, go the frick to the principal's office, but no, I did not know what I was talking about, but that's what happens if I look that up. How much is several? I think it's a vague. It means whatever you want it to mean. Okay, 2 is a couple, and more than 2 or 3 is several. Well, you know what? You're wrong. Dictionary or vocabulary.com. So you're wrong. Yeah. Dictionary.com. A Not Just Arin exclusive. I think this is our longest cold open. We haven't done the intro yet. But I feel like you keep trying to, and then I keep cutting you off with a... No, I keep trying to talk about my hair. Oh, okay. Well... To cut you off again, my hair was a guy. About your hair. Go on. No. My hair. He was a guy in high school. Yeah, he was like African or something. His name was pronounced My Hair. I'm not joking. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. See, okay. that was a fun segue, right? It was spelled Maher. I think he was from Africa, but his name was like My Hair, or like, yeah. Anyway, I thought you were doing a bit. I am, but it's there's no lies in this bit. Okay. But no, I mean, he was a chill guy. He was cool.
And he cut your hair?
No.
Oh, well, what? Who is he then?
He's my hair.
Oh my god.
I'm just telling you his name. I was just cutting you off. You said you started to talk about my hair, and I was like, oh yeah, I know him.
Oh gosh, okay, I can't.
Yeah, I feel like the audience can't keep up.
we need to move on. This is episode 7, apparently.
The Force Awakens.
Is that the 7th one?
Yes.
So wait, okay, never mind, whatever. This is episode 7 of the Not Just Arin podcast. I am Arin, and you are?
Joseph.
We had a thing going, Joseph. Come
I
on.
did this thing myself. You didn't. I'm not a slave to this bit.
We did it, but I thought it would be a thing that would keep going. Come on. You just ruined the whole vibe. The vibes are off today.
I'm Joseph, and you are?
Not Joseph.
All right. Sips Coca-Cola with pinky out. Sips Coca-Cola aggressively.
Oh my god. Anyway, today's episode of the podcast is a sort of kind of part 2 because we didn't know we were going to be doing 2 parts, or at least I didn't.
I did. You might have edited out of the last episode.
I did not see it. This is why I should listen to the podcast, so you know what's in there.
So I know what you do and don't edit or whatever.
Exactly.
I go and listen to all of them, and I find out you cut out all of my parts.
It's just
it literally is
to myself.
It is just Arin.
Wow. No. I didn't know it was going to be a part 2, but I guess today's episode will be a semi-continuation of last week's episode, which is titled Is Cuzzy Beyond That Phone? This week's title, inconclusive as of right now. I usually just come up with them on the fly, but we are going to be talking a little bit more about social media and things of that nature.
Why didn't you want to give it? Is there any reason why you left out the expletive of that saying that you named the title?
Well, you see, I looked it up afterwards, and then I saw that there was one in there, and I was like,
"Because you'd be on that damn phone."
Yeah, but I didn't know that. I always heard it's because he'd be on that phone, like actually from my parents. But except for me, it was my laptop instead of my phone. I was on my computer a lot, so yeah, it rings true. Anyway, social media part 2. So today we wanted to this episode shouldn't really be that long, but it could depending on how deep we get into it.
We'll cut it short, maybe. I like to talk, but at the same time, it's also late.
This is true. We started a little later than usual today, which is a bit unfortunate, but
that's just showbiz, baby.
I mean, sure, I guess. Honestly, it's the opposite of showbiz.
When I'm right, I'm right.
But you're not right.
I'm sorry. I'm feeling a little too chaotic today.
You
I'm just quirky like that.
You're not like other girls.
I'm not.
Okay. We wanted to start off talking about parasocial relationships, and Joseph especially, because he has some personal experiences with them, mostly with people he sort of kind of knew in real life. Why don't you go into it?
Are we talking about my crush? Is that where you were leading into?
Yes.
Okay. Well, social media. Yeah, I guess if you listen to the previous episode, which you should, you may have gathered that I'm not the biggest fan, but a lot of that is from not just it is my opinion of it, but it's not just an uninformed opinion. It is an opinion formed from my own experiences in my life. And one of those experiences that Arin has gracefully led into is my freshman year of college. There was a girl that I was crushing on big time, but we didn't really know each other, not that much. I guess we knew each other because we went to the same high school, but there was about an age gap of it was 2 years, not too bad, but still kind of significant.
So she was still in high school.
She no. She was older than me.
Oh, okay.
We went to the same high school, and there was an age gap of she was 2 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did she go to college with us? I'm assuming the answer is no. Okay.
No. she, like, the only time we knew each other was she was a senior and I was a sophomore. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like her at the time. I think I may have thought she was like cute or something, but like, you know, there's an age gap there. But then something about Facebook is like, I didn't like Facebook even when I was using it, and I mostly used it for memes. Mm-hmm. And eventually, me and this girl, I think we started liking each other's memes or something. Like we would share them and then we would like them. And then it eventually evolved into like us kind of just tagging each other in them. And, you know, I don't remember the whole thing, but it probably started out small where it was just like a meme here, a meme there. Mm-hmm. And then it built where it's like this went on for like a long time. And like when I got my like Facebook stats for the year, she was like number one where because we like tagged each other in like 400 something memes. So it was like more than a meme a day, really. And now I think like to me that was like somewhat significant. This was the extent of you two's quote unquote relationship. Mostly, I guess there was some attempts on my part to like bring it out of like Facebook. Like not really outright like asking her out, but just like, hey, like, you know, I guess we've been tagging each other in memes for a while. Maybe we should like hang out or something. But I think for me, like I put more weight on things than like other people do maybe. And so this time of we're tagging each other in like a ton of memes and interacting and kind of making jokes and having the same humor, it kind of meant a lot to me. And I feel like it helped me feel less lonely, like in my like senior year of high school and freshman year of college. And I guess she is a very well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I didn't necessarily need to throw in the very, but like she was a attractive person, and I was just like, oh, like this person's pretty cute. I feel like you haven't seen Gravity Falls, right? I could there's a crush in that show that I could compare it to, where it's like in the show there is a character, I guess named Dipper, where he has a crush on this older girl named Wendy, and and it felt kind of like that, and I was even like comparing it to that in my head at the time, where like I don't know, I guess like Dipper reminded me of myself, and like Wendy kind of like reminded me of this girl, or vice versa, whatever. And it was kind of like that. But all this to say is that at the time it meant a lot to me, but I think in hindsight it wasn't like much of a relationship, even if it was like a year long and there was a lot of memes shared. That's really all it was. And I guess there was eventually an effort on my part to get the relationship / friendship off of Facebook, where like I was kind of like messaging her about college and like, hey, do you have any advice? And like, you know, kind of trying to communicate like that. But it's like she did not seem as interested in that as she was in just like, you know, just sending memes. And then I did make an attempt where it was like, hey, like we should hang out. Like, oh, I know you like Marvel movies a lot. Do you want to go see Thor 3 or something? And I didn't want it to be, you know, just us or whatever. So it was like, okay, I have like, I guess my friends, but then I didn't really know any of her friends to invite. I knew one. We had like one mutual friend that I was somewhat close to, and she was on board to like help me with this plan because she thought it was like really, I guess, cute that I had a crush on her. And she had kind of signed up to help, but then due to whatever happened, kind of had to back out. And then so it was just like a bunch of my friends and then like her, you know what I mean? So she was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. And so it never happened. But like I said, like I was, I said foiled. But yeah, I was crushing like real hard. And eventually this story does end in heartbreak because The look on your face, you're like,
it got spicy.
Well, I mean, I'm exaggerating a bit.
No.
Like,
did she get a boyfriend or something? She got engaged?
No, even worse. Even worse.
She got pregnant?
Even worse.
She got pregnant with twins?
She started tagging someone else in memes.
No.
Like, all of a sudden, she just wasn't tagging me anymore, and she was tagging this other dude.
Betrayal.
Which, I guess you can bleep it out, but I want to name drop him because it still hurts. But, like, his name was... I don't know. I don't even know how to say his last name. It was, like... or something like that. I just bleeped that out. But, like... No, and like, and what's crazy too is he went to Belhaven. Really? I never knew
Your
him.
rival?
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness.
Like, you know, she got a thing for Belhaven boys. It just wasn't me, you know. But what is it? No, that honestly, like freshman year, that really did kind of hurt. Where it's like we've been tagging each other. We've had this like close air quotes meme friendship for like a year or two now, and then all of a sudden she like, you know, just like ghosts me or whatever and just completely stops tagging me in memes, starts tagging this other dude. And I'm just like, I'm heartbroken, Arin. Like it, man. Honestly, I'm like, my eyes are feeling a little watery right now.
Really?
Ever so slightly. Okay. No, it was, I mean, like, you know, think back to like a little freshman Joseph, like it.
I don't know how well I knew you at that time.
Fair enough, but it hurt. It hurt. I guess now, a couple of years after that, you know, she betrayed my meme trust. She did get married to that guy eventually.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Which I don't know how they knew each other. So it's like, if their relationship started the same that ours did, maybe they knew each other some other way to like give the benefit of the doubt. Like,
could you imagine? Yeah,
I know. Imagine like, what if like, you know, if just Thor Ragnarok had worked out, you know, like I could be on a completely different life path. Wow. Maybe, but like, not like I want that necessarily. It's just like, I don't know how they knew each other, but it's like if their relationship was the same or started the same as ours, then it's like, then maybe I had a chance. Yeah. But no, they did get married, which is like, my mom gave me that update like a year or two ago because she was like, yeah, didn't you have a crush on her? And I was like, I never told you that. And she was like, yeah, but it was super obvious. Wow. And I was like, yeah, I did. Man,
moms, they always know.
Yeah, well, I mean, apparently my mom, like, whenever she like knows I have a crush on someone, she's like, yeah, you always start talking about them a lot. And I'm like, oh, I'm not aware of this fact, but apparently you are. At least for me, you know, but like, yeah, whenever she's always like, yeah, I wonder if like he's going to have a crush or like starts to like date that person or something, because like I always start talking about them a lot. And that's something she picks up on, that like pattern. But now that is the story. Now, what's the moral? The moral is that kind of looking back on that, like, I guess it was a relationship, but I feel like in hindsight I would argue that it was a bit of a parasocial relationship, because there's not much to it other than the exchange of memes and like a joke here and there. But like me being a bit younger and being, I guess, more on social media than I was now, like it meant a lot to me, like a lot, where it's like, yo, like I want to like ask this girl out and like, you know, we're good friends or whatever. And that just wasn't the case. And so I guess I'm just trying to say, like, social media not great for like maybe realistic expectations and healthy relationships. I think like we had a relationship, but I think like social media made me think it was a bit more than it was, you know. And I guess that's, other than maybe some like celebrity stuff, which I don't know if I'd have a lot of examples with that, but like that is maybe one of my like definitive examples of like a parasocial relationship in my life. Do you have any questions or anything? So
you did actually know this person, like y'all went to high school together?
A little bit. I met her.
Did you get invited to the wedding?
No. No. Well, yeah, I was the I don't know. Ring bearer. I was the maid of honor. No, I mean, I wouldn't have even happened. I wouldn't have even known about it if my mom didn't still have Facebook at the time or didn't go on from time to time. Yeah. You know, any other questions?
Honestly, no. I mean, it's pretty straightforward story of betrayal and heartbreak.
Yeah, I know. It's, I think, like, I've been writing a script. I've been workshopping a script on it, maybe.
Really?
No.
You haven't, because you would have told me about it.
Yeah, I know.
We're still supposed to write a script together, by the way.
Okay.
Don't think I have forgotten about it.
Okay. The one that we, like, I think we started, like, junior year? Like...
I don't think we started when we started talking about one. Just
I don't even know. Well, I feel like we started
similar experiences we had and things that like
we started talking about one. I feel like we started talking about one like sophomore year, like post Isabel breakup, but like before Patricia had even graduated.
Yes.
Wow.
Because remember when we sat in that room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had one meeting and that was it.
Yeah, basically. But I think since I have like completed a feature, it feels feasible to me now.
So I guess I was leaving it. I wanted to know if you had any more questions about this Joseph lore, but I guess I wanted to ask as well if you had any parasocial relationships in your memory. Well,
I don't know if mine were quite as strong as that. Like, I never had any with like anyone that I actually knew. We mentioned this before we started recording, or maybe not. No, it was before we started recording. About how, real life, like, relationships are kind of not quite parasocial, but just unbalanced. So I think it was more of that with, like, people I knew in real life. But again, like I said in our last episode, I kind of stopped using social media in that way to, like, interact with people I knew. So I guess it never really had a chance to happen like that, but...
What about, like, parasocial relationships with, like, a celebrity or something? Like,
well, I don't know about celebrities, because I don't know if I would consider YouTubers to be celebrities. I'm sorry,
I would
YouTubers,
consider that.
A few of them.
Okay.
Most of them, no. They don't cut
it. If there is... I guess let's look up you already looked up the definition of a parasocial relationship, but, like... I mean, whether you know them or not, I guess I'm just wondering, like, do you recall ever having, like, some sort of parasocial relationship? You don't even have to call them a celebrity, but with a YouTuber. Yeah. Where, like, okay, definitely. Well, tell us about it.
I was going to, but you were like, actually, they are celebrities. But,
well, actually, they are.
I think my parasociality, if that even is a word, probably not, started, funnily enough, with podcasts. So back in the day, the Yogscast had this podcast called the Yog Pod, and it was kind of old. I think it was going since like maybe 2009. No, it couldn't have been. That's too far back. But they had a podcast that lasted for a while. I think it lasted up until maybe 2015 before it got like replaced with something else. I really hope those old episodes are still out there because honestly, nostalgia. But anyways, so that podcast is what kind of gave me my love for more conversational style podcasts and like YouTube and also like stand-up comedy to a lesser extent. Because at that point it was just Simon and Lewis and like occasionally Hannah. I mean, you don't really know what I'm talking about, but real Yog heads will no. Oh, what were they called? Oh my goodness. Dave ! Yognut? Y'all will know. You look so confused right now. It's fine.
All 5 of our listeners.
Hey, Melissa said she read the Warriors books, so somebody's gonna know what I'm talking about.
Melissa's like, yo, the freaking Yogscast.
The Yogscast were like gigantic, though. I feel like some people, especially our age,
but they weren't actually celebrities.
Okay, they weren't celebrities. I wasn't saying they were celebrities, but they were pretty big on YouTube at the time. Anyways, at the point that I was listening to them, it was more or less just Simon and Lewis and like occasionally Hannah. This was before Shadow of Israfel happened, that whole series. But really, it was just them talking, like bantering back and forth about like funny stories. They would read Reddit creepypastas. So like the Smiling Man was one that they read. That's kind of how I found out about a lot of like creepypastas and stuff, was from that specific episode of the Yog Pod. But it really felt like I feel like this is true for podcasts in general, including this one that you're listening to right now. So you're not safe either, listener. I feel like podcasts really make you feel like you're included in the conversation when really you're not. So, at this time, I was in the 6th grade. So that really weird transition from elementary school, being like a little kid, to middle school, to being like, you know, a teenager, I guess. And I don't want to like lie and say I had no friends at this point, but at this point I didn't have a whole lot of friends. And I was still kind of made fun of for like being weird. And I hadn't quite suppressed a lot of my personality at this point. So I was drawing creepers in art class and stuff like that. So I was still kind of at that point. I felt like this is going to sound so cringe because it is, but it kind of felt like they were my friends in a weird way because I was listening to these podcasts and like, enjoying their banter and their anecdotes, as they were called. So I think that was kind of the first time that it happened. And of course I was 11 at the time. So it was kind of a really opportune time for something like that to happen to me. And, for something that I'll get into a little bit later, I guess I kind of understand how that can happen to other people. Yeah, so it all started with the Augscast. That's where it all fell down for me. But after that, I don't think it was particularly strong for me, like, ever. Because, at that time, I guess, it felt nice to listen to their podcast because it felt like I was, part of the conversation or whatever. But I never particularly felt a parasocial relationship to the extent that I think some people do. Mm-hmm. So,
wow, it sounds to me like you're not like other girls.
Exactly, I'm not like other girls. I am a type. What is it for? Apparently, deep down, I am. Mm. Yep.
I feel like put you on blast here for a second. I feel like you say like, when I try to make an I'm not like other girls statement, I try to make it blunt and like just as unsubtle as possible because I genuinely mean it, but I'm also trying to add like a little dash of irony or whatever. But I feel like you say it more than me, maybe, and you maybe don't realize it.
No, I don't.
But no, not like the actual phrase, but you make a statement like that where like, I don't know if you realize it.
That I am somewhat different from people?
Yes.
Okay. Whether or not you're true remains to be seen, I guess. I don't know how to respond to that.
She's nervous. She's on the spot.
Anyways, so yeah, that's where it started for me. Of course, I grew up on YouTube more or less from 6th grade until like now. But again, like, I don't know if I ever... Well, okay, back in the Dizzy, the creatures, they opened up a P.O. box, and I wrote down the address because I wanted to, like, send them a letter so they would read it on a live stream. Or no, on a video, because that's what they used to do. But, oh my goodness, I don't know if some people, like, remember this, but at some point, like, an entire room of that house got filled up with stuff from their P.O. box. Mm. So, like, I think at some point they just, like, threw it all away because there's no way they were going to get to it, which is honestly kind of sad. But anyways... I had written down their address. Oh my god, I remember the video too, because it was just Jordan Kutra like awkwardly holding a basketball for some reason while they like announced their P.O. box. But anyways, I wrote it down to like write a letter and send it to him or whatever, but I lost the address, so I never ended up doing it. So yeah, I guess that sort of kind of counts. Let's see, when was that? I want to say it was like in the 7th or 8th grade at that point. I remember feeling very upset, like, I don't want to say bodily upset because that's a bit strong, but I remember feeling sad when Gassy Mexican was kicked out of the creatures. I forgot why. This happened so long ago, but I remember that being like a defining moment for me.
It's because he was gassy.
That's not why, but...
Was it because he was a Mexican? Are the creatures racist?
I actually don't know. No, I can't say that. That's hearsay. It's not because they were racist. I think he just wasn't vibing with them. And the shady thing about it is that they voted to kick him out, but the 2 members who didn't live in the house at the time didn't get to vote. So that was weird. I remember that. Yes. It was Spoon and who else? The Canadian one whose name I am forgetting right now. But yeah, they didn't get to vote for some reason. That's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. But... oh goodness, when Kutra got swatted, you have no idea what I'm talking about. This is a one-sided conversation at this point, but I'm giving examples. So this had to be in 2014. I remember this. I was in high school and I was on Reddit in the morning before classes started. and I saw a video of Kucha getting spotted, and it like ruined my whole day. I don't know if these particularly count as like parasocial relationships, but these people that I did not know in real life and who did not know me in real life did have some kind of emotional impact on me. But I feel like that can be said of like most media for most people. So again, me being not like other girls apparently, I don't know, I don't think it really affects me like that. I'm immune to it. Somewhat.
Bold of you to say. Well, I mean, how, like, you never feel like... Didn't you look up the definition before we started?
I did, and I can read it, just for those who don't know. So this is from Wikipedia, so take it with a grain of salt, I guess.
Nah, come on, don't be a high school teacher. Wikipedia rocks.
Well, Wikipedia does say themselves that they're not a reliable source, so...
Really?
Yes.
Well, see, you can't trust it. That's like if Pinocchio says, I'm lying.
Whatever. According to Wikipedia, a parasocial interaction refers to a kind of psychological relationship experienced by an audience in their mediated encounters with performers in the mass media, particularly on television and online platforms.
So, I mean, you've never felt like... It doesn't necessarily have to be like... I don't think it necessarily has to be a super unhealthy or like obsessive thing, but I feel like it can be like just maybe thinking it's a real relationship when it's not, of like, I don't know, like I know you like Drag Race a lot. It's like how attached do you maybe feel to like Trixie Mattel or like
drag you know drag queens. Oh my goodness.
I know drag queens because of you.
Oh, well, Trixie Mattel is not my favorite drag queen.
I could literally just name like Trixie Mattel and RuPaul, and that's it. I think those are like the biggest.
Sure. I mean, RuPaul's name is on the show, so yes. I would say so. New episode tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're recording today because you're like, I don't do Fridays.
I mean, we might after the season is over. So, anyway, I mean, I do consume a lot of drag content these days, and the only Patreon subscription I have is to Sibling Rivalry, which is Bob the Drag Queen and Monet Exchanges, they're drag queens, their podcast. And honestly, that $5... very worth it because I get like 3 videos a week. It's fantastic. For $5. Wow. Anyways, I guess I feel myself very attached to them, but I don't know, man. I just like their content. Oh, one thing. Okay, so I thought about it and then it slipped my mind, but I remembered it again. Sometimes I do feel like I adopt some idiosyncrasies from the people that I am watching, especially like certain phrases and like inside jokes, and also sometimes kind of the way that I laugh, which is wild. I feel like the way that I laugh fluctuates a lot depending on who I'm around the most or who is like influencing me the most, which is wild. But I have noticed that about myself.
So it's not like a conscious thing or whatever?
No, it just kind of happens. And it's so weird. But yeah, I have started to, not the way that I talk outwardly, but the way that I talk... not to myself, because I don't talk to myself, but in my head is definitely influenced by the media I consume. So I suppose that is kind of a aspect of it. So yes, I am affected by parasocial relationships. I'm not just like weirdo kids who like Minecraft YouTubers these days. So
I mean, it doesn't just have to be kids. I feel like,
what are you reading?
I clicked on, I was trying to look up parasocial, and then I went on this article that like, I don't know how good it is or how reputable the source is, but I found the article to actually be kind of interesting.
Who's it by?
It's by prevention.com. Let's click the homepage. It's
vitamin D?
No, that's an ad or something. Let's see. Prevention. Is it a health and wellness? Seems like it's a health and wellness website.
Interesting.
Yeah, anyway.
Can vitamin D... Yeah, let me see it.
Prevent COVID... Oh, shoot. Can vitamin D reduce your risk of severe COVID? Well, I think, you could give, mild examples of, a parasocial relationship of, I guess this may not be the most reputable article But I guess, neither is Wikipedia according to them. But their definition of like a parasocial relationship, I guess just for the sake of someone wants to look this up, just like, I think look up like if parasocial relationships are healthy. And then it's an article by prevention.com, written by Jake Smith this year. It refers to it as an imaginary or one-sided relationship. What is it? That an individual forms with a public figure whom they do not know personally. But then they even elaborate further where it's like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a public figure. It could just be like just someone you don't know. You know what I mean? And like an example that they give is like, oh, in college, it's like maybe you like see a girl or a guy and you're like, oh, that person's like cute. And like you kind of, I guess, imagine what they're like based on their looks versus like actually knowing them. Yeah. And so what is it? I feel like you can have like a very mild parasocial relationship where it's just like maybe you have a crush on a celebrity or a stranger on a bus, or you could have Jekyll and Hydeification. Yeah, that was one I was thinking of. Or like me and Oscar Isaac. I
don't like him that much.
What? Podcast over. We're done. You don't like Oscar Isaac that much?
I mean, not as much as like Jake Gyllenhaal. Okay, not like an actor.
Okay, well, it's subjective.
As my fake husband.
Okay. Well, Oscar Isaac is my fake husband. Okay, so get the frick out of here. You can't have him anyway.
Okay, he's yours. You can have him.
All right. And then Jake Gyllenhaal can be like my backup. If you and him ever get divorced, I can swoop in. Oh my goodness. If
I ever Taylor Swift him.
I feel like I've been meaning to ask you about that because like
about him and Taylor Swift. I know nothing about that.
Okay, well I watched her short film and I'm like, yo, and then if you read all the Letterboxd reviews of it, it's like there's some people that are like, yo, apparently there's a lot of Taylor Swift fans on Letterboxd because
there are a lot of Taylor Swift fans everywhere. They come out of the cracks.
Well, I think like it's like I think overall it has like the highest average.
Also, I think people who are Taylor Swift fans are more likely to watch it and are more likely to rated on Letterboxd.
This is true. Yeah. Well, I mean, there are some negative reviews, but I think overall, so many people gave her short film 5 stars that I think it's like the highest rated thing on Letterboxd.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
So Jake Gyllenhaal, but then like there could be an extreme example of like we could give the fictional
Sasaengs.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, so this is perfect.
Wait, hold on. Thing.
I know, but I have an example. So K-pop, people are rabid about it, but. There are these particular rabid fans that are called in Korean Sasaengs. And basically they are stalkers. There's no really other way to put it. But they follow these groups around and try to like, they steal stuff from them. There have been, I think certain people have like stolen items or like clothes or something like that from members of BTS. So, it's basically advanced stalking. Mm-hmm. But, since boy bands kind of have that really parasocial relationship with their audience, it's more in that vein than like regular stalking. So go ahead.
I was gonna give a fake example with I don't know if you've ever heard Eminem's song "Stan."
Of course, it's the blueprint.
Yeah. I think I was gonna give that example, which like
Soundbox, by the way.
It's cool. I think it was really disturbing, and then I guess I was slightly comforted to know that it wasn't like real.
It's like Slim Shady era. So.
Yeah. Well,
you don't know about Eminem's eras? Gee.
But then I feel like I guess I don't know a whole lot about this situation, but like I would assume that like I guess the dude that killed Christina Grimmie probably had like a parasocial relationship, and so I feel like
there's actually been a notable number of like celebrity stalkers, like the guy who tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan. I think Ronald Reagan was a fan of what is her name? Wow. No, it was a different actress who was a teenager at the time, and she's also a lesbian, so kind of weird. But I can't remember her name. You guys can look it up. You'll find it really easily. There is the Bjork stalker. Which is, have you heard of that one?
No.
I think he like, number one, he stalked her, and he like recorded her, and I think he also recorded himself game ending himself, which is why I have resisted looking it up because the video is easily available. And there's like a number of other ones. I'm trying to think if there was something more recent. But no, I don't think so. But yeah, there are a lot of celebrity stalkers who more than likely have parasocial relationships with their stalkees. Oh, well, I don't know if this is specifically because she's a streamer, but the streamer with Tourette's, Sweet Anita, has had a stalker for a while.
I think I saw one of her videos on that. Yeah. So anyway, I guess maybe what I'm saying is like, for the most part, parasocial relationships are bad, but I feel like there is still maybe a spectrum.
Yeah.
And I think I can agree that maybe not all of them are bad, but as long as like
you keep it in check. You
keep it in check, and I guess you're a sane person, for lack of a better words, because it's like, I guess I feel that way about the podcasts I listen to of I guess, I don't know, shout out to Last Stand Media, because I really like their
They're a number 5 fan.
Really?
Collectively?
No, they no, I
you don't know that.
I highly doubt.
Man.
They're like how would they even know?
They're listening to this crying right now.
They're one of our Patreon subscribers. No, what is it? I really like their PlayStation coverage as well as their some of their other stuff. But for me, I feel like I guess one, I just like a decent podcast. But for me, feeling like a bit of a lonely person, and like I have like, you know, I have work, I have my family, and then I have like Melissa and you. But like, you know, sometimes if I'm not necessarily if I'm feeling down, but like if I'm just playing some video games by myself and don't really feel like being by myself, then it's like I'll pop on their podcast, and you know, it feels like, you know, you're one of the boys, or like, you know, you're just hanging out, and like it's a one-sided conversation. Like you're not contributing anything to it, but like maybe even internally you're having your own thoughts. You're kind of like, you may verbally react to it, but I feel like, I mean, I've never thought of it this way until honestly recording this podcast, but I feel like, yeah, I probably have like a slight or mild like parasocial relationship with these podcasters that I listen to. And I don't know. I think that's, I guess now we're kind of like, now this is more just like the parasocial relationship than like this social media episode.
Well, I mean, all these have originated on social media, more or less.
It's more like a sort of a tangent, but what is it? I don't know if I agree with this article, because it seems to be like encouraging it, but I don't know if that's like a bad thing or not.
What is it saying specifically?
Well, it's saying like they're fine, and like they're also saying like, oh, like adolescent girls may form parasocial relationships with like celebrity women that are like older than them, and they'll kind of view them as like a mom or like a big sister or something. But it's still like, I don't know, because it's hard for me to say, because on one hand, it feels like mentally what my brain is trying to do is like, when other people do it, it's bad. When I do it, it's fine. When I don't feel that way, but it's almost like that's like what my brain is telling me. So I guess the more I read this article, the more I'm like not sure if I agree with it, but at the same time, I'm just not sure if I feel like it's like saying both maybe the good and the bad. It's just kind of only saying the good, you know? I guess this is a lot to say for like, you know, you're not reading it, the audience isn't reading it, but I guess on one hand, I could hand it to you and you could like kind of skim through it. But at the same time, then I have to keep talking so that it's not just silence for a little bit.
I can also edit out the silence.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, I guess we are now going to take a brief intermission while Arin skims through this article to form an opinion on it.
A great way to connect with someone in a risk-free way, but you're not really connecting with them though, right? Like, that's wild.
That's the question. I mean, it is a connection, but it's one-sided. It's not, I feel like a connection, I don't know by definition, but like a true connection needs to be like two ways, you know?
Yes, otherwise it doesn't connect. It's just, well, I think, so this is saying that they are healthy, which, I mean,
I somewhat agree with, but I don't fully agree with.
I agree that they're normal. I don't know if they're like healthy. Particularly healthy though. Yeah. So I don't know, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I did agree with them when they said it could happen to, you know, anyone, and probably does happen to anyone, but healthy is the big question mark for me. I'm not 100% sure that they are 100% healthy. And I mean, I guess, it was a quote in there that said, you can be friends with someone without them like hurting your feelings, which they probably could still hurt your feelings by, I don't know, doing something you don't like. It's just they don't care that they hurt your feelings. So then it kind of makes it even worse. So I don't know if I agree with this article.
Mm-hmm.
I did read very few words from it, but the overall vibe is off. So
mm-hmm. Doesn't pass the vibe check.
No, it failed it.
But yeah, I guess I want to say it can be okay as long as like maybe you know what it is and you kind of keep it in check and like you still have those real relationships. And it's like, I guess I would say like, for me, I feel like my like parasocial relationships are just kind of like connecting with people of like, I feel like I really like Bo Burnham because like I agree with him on things. I like his story. I relate to him, but it's still like, I don't know him at all. I don't know like, I guess really what he's like in person. I don't know. Could
be stinky.
Like smelly.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, he looks a little crusty in his new special. So, I mean, he has a song about how he hasn't showered in 9 days. So might be a little stinky.
Exactly.
But
could be 2 feet tall. We don't know that for sure.
He's not. I feel like you can see pictures of him with other people, and it's like he is a giant.
Pictures, they're edited,
Edited.
Don't know for sure.
Get that picture like lengthening surgery. What is it? I feel like it's kind of that connection, but something that like happened was in one of his comedy specials is someone like I guess heckles him sort of where they shout out during one of his bits. They're like I love you, and then he's like shut up, like he's like no you don't, he's like you don't love me, just love the idea of me.
Yeah. Now was that a plant or was that like actual heckle?
I'm pretty sure it was a heckle because he's real mean to his heckles. Like he like I guess he I didn't throw it in there, but he like did have like an F word in there in that like thing where like
which F word?
Fuck.
Oh.
No, I feel like I've seen like a compilation of some of his heckles, and he's like, I feel like in his comedy and probably in real life, he's like generally like a nice person, but like as soon as someone heckles him on stage, he's like vicious, kind of scary. But it's somewhat understandable. But anyway, social media. That was our segue last episode.
It was, indeed, it was. That was for when we were getting off topic, though. So we said this off the podcast, but we wanted to talk about it on the podcast. But sometimes we get the impression that people, especially people that we know, like in real life, like how they actually are, it seems to us that social media has a Jekyll and Hydeification effect to it. And I think that rings true for me personally, because sometimes I do wild out on the timeline. I will admit that, say certain things that I would not say in real life. For example, I do swear a lot on social media, and I don't think anyone is.
And then you don't like to swear at all on like in real life. And I feel like me and Sam have even asked you like why don't you swear?
Yeah, he tries to goad me into saying the F word.
Yeah, and then you're weird. Like, I'm a lady. I don't do that. And then like, and then I go to like your YouTube. Oh, I don't. It didn't come across as you were joking. It came across as genuine.
No, honestly, the thing about swearing with me is just it doesn't feel right coming out of my mouth, which is why I just don't do it. I mean, it has come out, but only when I'm like super duper mad. So, if you want to see me curse, just make me exceptionally angry. Stop. Yeah, I only swear when I'm like yelling at people. So it happens, just not very often. But yeah, I swear a lot online. Honestly, pretty cathartic. I'll say that. I enjoy the cussing. But I mean, I don't know. I guess we can scroll through the timeline for some examples. Not of swearing.
You're going to your Facebook, or what are you going to?
My Twitter. Not Facebook. Because I am not on Facebook.
You want to focus on cursing right now?
Not cursing, just things that I've said on Twitter that I would never say in real life. Well, okay, I would say this in real life. One thing that I tweeted recently is I absolutely cannot wait to be 40, hot, and rich. So there's that. I mean, there's really no situation or that would come up in conversation. So I guess technically...
When did you tweet this?
2 days ago.
Why?
Because I can't wait to be 40, hot, and rich.
What if you're just going to be one of those things?
Well, okay, so here's the thing, Joseph. I am going to determine myself to be rich, and hotness... Yes, hotness is a mindset. Okay. So, it's not that hard for me. Especially considering I'll probably be unmarried without children at that time.
And that makes you hotter?
No, that makes me richer. Okay, and it also does make me hotter. So, Well, honestly, I wild out way more in my art Twitter. So let me go there. That's where the spice is.
You're like, yo, Van Gogh, freaking overrated.
No, not that. Let's see here.
Leonardo da Vinci didn't know anything.
Okay, this one isn't... Now I'm just like reading funny tweets, but I wanted to tell you this one because I thought it was funny, but this one is that part in Dune where old girl gets caught by the Sardaukar and starts beating on the sand to attract the shy Halud, but instead she just starts doing the wop. Do you know that dance? It starts out with you like, I don't know if it starts out like that, but at some point you like beat the ground while also like twerking. I thought it was funny. It was a funny visual for me. Oh, here's one. Okay, this one I feel like is particularly, maybe not aggressive, but it, So I say weirdos who think certain celebrities look better because they, quote unquote, haven't had plastic surgery are number 1, weirdos, and number 2, deluded because a lot of celebs have had plastic surgery at some point. It's either done well or so small you can't notice, and there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like that's quite opinionated.
I would say that I feel like calling someone a weirdo is a bit aggressive, but I feel like it's also it reminds me of like guys. I guess I haven't like experienced this in real life a lot, but I don't doubt it's real at the same time. Which is there's something that like a couple memes I saw make fun of is it's like guys say they prefer a girl with no makeup when in actuality they mean like they prefer a girl with minimal makeup.
Yes, I've seen that a lot too.
Yeah. I feel like it's like that where it's like oh man, I want a woman with like a natural butt like Jennifer Lopez or something. Like
well, I will say Jennifer Lopez, her butt is natural, but she's also just Latina. So.
It was a made up example. I did not know if that butt was natural, if that ass was natural or not. I feel like it's just more like maybe people don't know, where I feel like guys, especially I would say younger guys, may not know whether or not a female is wearing makeup. And if... Here
you go with the female again.
Yeah, I know. I did it specifically to irk you.
Yep. Honestly, it's mostly these past weeks I've just been tweeting about Drag Race on Friday and retweeting random posts. FedEx Run Me My Packages challenge. That was one tweet that I had because FedEx was not running me my packages. I
feel like that could be, I mean, that's not really enough like for like a long topic, but I feel like something.
What, FedEx?
No, I was going to say a brief tangent of like me hating social media. And I mean, I feel like this is a Facebook thing and even a like.
AT&T stopped calling me about a promotion I don't want challenge.
I was going to say what is it? A social media thing and more recently like a TikTok thing is I hated how everything was like a challenge all of a sudden.
Wait, are you talking about like seriously or like the meme way that I just said it this time?
Not like both. Okay. I think because I feel like
that meme.
What?
I say you don't like the meme?
No, I can appreciate a funny meme making fun of like the challenge phenomenon or whatever, but like it's like for something to gain traction on social media, it's like a challenge. So it's like I don't know. It could be something dumb like check out the lick a toilet seat challenge, like or it could be something like wholesome, which I still don't like because of the challenge aspect, but it's like, stay hydrated challenge, drink lots of water.
Yeah.
I feel like back when I was still on Facebook, I hated that where it was just annoying, really. But
I feel like my tweets are mostly inane.
I feel like now I know how you felt while I was scrolling at this article. And I'm like, let me tell you, it doesn't feel good. But hey, that's just how the DJ turns the table. I thought that was a really good joke. I hope the audience appreciates it more than you did because I'm funny. I think for the sake of time, we should move on.
Yeah, probably. Again, I could always cut this out, but yeah. So.
Well, I just meant for the sake of recording. We're already like passing out here.
You are.
Erin's over here, like she's looking a little drowsy. Like her eyes keep like Arin, wake up! Come on. Got narcolepsy over here. Like.
Oh my god. Anyways,
you just hear a thud, and Arin, she's asleep on a keyboard.
Anyways, social media, the Jekyll and Hydeification of it all. I do feel like, I don't know if. I feel like this might be a really good example. My YouTube videos. So I would say that me and my YouTube videos that is the real me. But I definitely do have to like turn it on, so to speak. So it's like I'm not doing a character and I'm not like doing a bit or anything, but I feel like the way that I behave in my YouTube videos is not the way that I behave in normal conversation. But then again, honestly, I don't know. To me, it feels like I'm turning it on for YouTube, but who knows? I don't know. I could definitely tell that my on-camera presence has changed since I began. Like, I feel like, even, I don't know if I was like, I didn't feel nervous at the time, but for my first on-camera video, you can tell that I'm one way. And then for my latest on-camera video, you can tell I'm like, I guess it is just me being more comfortable being in front of the camera, but like I guess I do kind of turn it on, So I don't know if you've noticed that, because you're a fake fan who doesn't watch my YouTube videos, but
hey, I never said I was a fan of your YouTube channel. You can't be a fake fan if you're never a fan. Well,
now I know who my true friends are.
Yeah.
Illusion Neil is my only friend.
Illusion Neil.
Anyway, I don't know if you've noticed. I think for the most part, the only video, not the only one, but the videos that you have seen of mine have been video essays, which I record differently than my other types of, like my on-camera videos, because my video essays are scripted. Therefore, my reading voice is different from my speaking voice. I don't think by a whole lot. I try to sound natural when I read, but I can tell that it is a bit different. So, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, okay. I don't know, because I haven't...
Because you're a fake fan? All right, continue.
What is it? Well, I was going to say, like... Well, one, I wanted to ask, did you come up with Jekyll and Hydeification, like, on the spot?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's like a meme to, like,
So you've heard it before?
No, not specifically Jekyll and Hydeification, but adding ification to something to say that something is turning into something else.
I've seen that meme, I guess, sort of. I've seen it on Letterboxd, but...
Yeah.
Well... I don't know. If it's a meme, I'm slightly less impressed. But before you told me it was a meme, I was like, oh, that was pretty clever of you to come up with on the spot.
Actually, I did come up with that.
I rescind it now. Anyway, I was going to say, do you have anything a little bit more like spicy where like...
What do you mean?
Well, I was going to like, for me, my Jekyll and Hyde of like social media where it's like normal me, Jekyll, and then social media me, which like I got rid of is like Hyde. I feel like that's like something that's a little bit more spicy where I'm ashamed of, where like now you're like, yeah, like, most of my tweets are kind of benign and like, like. Well,
I do feel I am a little bit more aggressive online. Oh my goodness. Okay. So my, I think this is a better example, but oh my God, what is it called? I already forgot this woman's name. Ben Shapiro's sister, when I did a video on her, I got a lot of like really nasty comments, and I was just as nasty back to them.
Yeah.
So
actually, I did. That is one of the few videos of yours that I have watched, and I did read your comments. And let me tell you,
you told me that.
I did not like either of them.
well, either of them.
Like the video or the comments.
Didn't like my video?
Not particularly.
This is news. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know that, but all right. Now we know you're my enemy. You're the opposite of a fan. What's the opposite of a fan? A hater. You're a hater. So but like they say, my haters, they make me stronger. So I'm gonna keep you around. Because keep your friends close and your haters closer. So anyway, yeah. However, I feel like I like to pretend I'm not a confrontational person, but I feel like in high school, I can definitely be mean. I had the capacity to be mean. So especially if someone was doing it to me first. I don't think I would ever just do it to someone just already, but the vibe already has to be set for me to be like nasty to someone. So yeah, I think, I guess it's more of a reaction to people being nasty, just not being, nasty on my own.
I think, well, it doesn't necessarily have to be something like, I'm trying to do a bit over here.
Okay.
If I can, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like something like you're ashamed of. I just think like,
I don't know if I'm ashamed of it.
I never said you were, but, I know, but for me, I'm saying like...
I never specified.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. I was going to say that like defining this like Jekyll and Hydeification, it's like, I feel like social media allows you to see a side of a person that like isn't necessarily their best side. It may even be their worst side. And...
Oh my goodness. Now that you said that, the whole Lily Jean situation, I completely managed to forget about that, but that definitely shows it. Because I don't think I ever told you about any of that.
Okay.
So, I mean, you're just going to have to watch the videos, because it's going to take, we're already at 1 hour and 16 minutes, but that whole situation, I mean, listen, they came to me with the energy first, I just returned it. But I feel like, yeah, me at my worst, basically. So, goodness, I can't believe I never told you about that. Have I never told you about that?
You might have. I don't know.
I don't remember telling you, but that was like a big deal when it happened. Goodness, I forgot all about that. And honestly, now that I've mentioned her name, she's gonna send her shooters from New York to come and get me. But go ahead.
Do you get notifications whenever you get a comment?
Yes. Not on my phone though, because usually I'm not on that account when I watch YouTube.
All right.
I have a FooTube. It's like a Finsta.
A concept that offends me. Or should I say? It's
not really a FooTube, because I mean that one existed before my YouTube channel existed. So my YouTube channel is the real FooTube. But anyways, I do get notifications when I get comments. Did you leave a comment on something?
I might have.
I'll have to see them.
Okay, so wait. Did you tell the story, or are you capable of telling it right now?
Which story?
Whatever the thing you were ashamed of.
Oh, Lily Jean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's really not a whole lot to it. Let's see. I made a video about this Instagram person named Lily Jean. Not that remarkable of a video. I did not reveal any new information. And I did not use any of her content in my video, except for the thumbnail of the video was a edited picture of her eyes to make it look, sinister the way commentary YouTubers did it at the time.
I think you did tell me about this, because didn't they send you like a cease and desist or something?
They sent me a copyright strike. And it took the video down for about, I want to say a month. So I uploaded it in February of last year. Actually, it's been like a year since that happened. And it was down until like mid-March, I want to say. So yeah. So basically what happens when you get a copyright strike is you're given a couple of options. You can either dispute the strike, which means you have to basically sign a legal document with like your full name and your address. And I did not want to do that because these two had a reputation for doxing people. And that is not something I wanted to get into at the time, or ever, by the way. So I didn't want to do that. But what they did is YouTube provided me with their email so that in case it was done in error, which it was, but it was also done maliciously, so, it was on purpose. But in case it was done in error, I can reach out to the quote-unquote copyright holder and try to resolve it that way. So, knowing who these people are, I kind of sent them an email. And honestly, we can read the email. It's been a year. Yeah.
Well, I guess, how long have we been recording? Has it been like an hour and 20 minutes or something?
It's been, yes, an hour and 20 minutes. Wow.
Okay.
But also it can be a little long.
Well, I think you did tell me about this, because, so is there any way you can tell us like how you feel after the fact without
like now or immediately after the fact?
Like now, because
well, now I don't care. I mean, it happened last year. I had legit forgotten about it until you had brought that up.
This is the Jekyll and Hydeification.
Okay,
you're just telling us like Jekyll and like a little bit like cranky Jekyll. Like you're not telling us Hyde. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know if there is a Hyde for me though, because I don't know. It's not like I'm out here cyberbullying people, so I don't. There's not really that there, but. I would say I was more petty than usual. More petty than I would be if these were two people that I had like known. Right? So I that feels Hyde enough for me.
Okay. Well, I feel like you're being too easy on yourself then. If you're I don't know the situation, I don't know the video, I don't know the people, but it's like if you're being like petty to a stranger and like kind of making a video just kind of, I don't know, blasting a stranger, then this seems pretty Hyde-like, you know?
I mean, maybe, but also you have to understand about these two people is that they had been, let me see, they had been copyright striking, because a claim and a strike are different. They've been copyright striking literally anyone who had talked about them in a YouTube video disparagingly at all, which... Usually a copyright strike would be applied if like you uploaded a full movie to YouTube and like Warner Brothers strikes it because hello, you can't do that. But these people were just talking about them. They weren't re-uploading any of Lily's videos. They weren't, I don't know, making like a slideshow over Instagram posts or something like that. And even then I think that would be under fair use. But
so you felt like you were like punching up, but at the same time like
I wasn't punching at all though. Because the thing about the video itself, which has been restored to YouTube, and people can watch it if they want. I was just, honestly, it was like me reading a Wikipedia article. But Lily doesn't, to my knowledge, have a Wikipedia article about her, so this is just collected in various parts of the internet. Just saying various things that she has done, because I think at that time, they were going into an actual lawsuit with another content creator over videos that content creator had made about them. Of course, this is all just a scare tactic, but the one time, you know, that they do it to a content creator. Also, these people are like racist and like transphobic and like just worse in all the ways.
So you're punching up.
Sure, yeah. So, I don't know, man. The video itself wasn't that bad because, like I said, I wasn't revealing any new information. It was just stuff that already existed, but I put it into a video, I guess, for the people who haven't seen it or heard about them at all, so... Dude, I don't know. Honestly, I'll admit it was kind of a lazy video. I mean, some work did go into it. I had to look up all the stuff they did, compile it into a list, and then present it in a somewhat entertaining way. But it was not like I was adding anything new to the conversation or saying anything that hadn't been said already, you know? That's why I felt like it was especially weird that they were copyright striking my video.
So if you knew that, like, they were doxing people and, like, copy striking people, like, why'd you throw your hat in the ring?
Because I thought, me in my little head, thought that they wouldn't be able to do it because I didn't use any of their content in the video. Therefore, they wouldn't be able to copyright strike it and YouTube would just, like, reject it. But considering the thumbnail that I used was a picture of Lily, that's how they were able to do it. And for some reason, the copyright system on YouTube is broken. For some reason, it was able to get through and the video was able to get taken down. And so in response to that, I wanted to be a little petty and I sent them an email. And they sent me some emails back.
It was like very legal.
Well, Lily herself told me to go F myself, so there's that.
Oh, wow.
And then her mom, Laura, threatened legal action against me, which I knew that was a bluff. Nothing ever happened. But eventually, you know, I still wanted to get my video back up because this had been done unfairly. So eventually I ended up having to dispute it. They did not counter dispute my dispute because they knew they would, like, not get through with it. And then they tried to claim that I had taken the video down myself, which I did not. Not true. And eventually, and I could see it on the analytics for the video, but eventually someone at YouTube actually reviewed the video and restored it. And that was in March of last year. So, I don't know. That maybe that's not Jekyll and Hydeification at all. I don't know. Well, I just felt like, to me, it felt especially out of character for me. Especially like the email like exchange that
like
we
the
had.
Film classic The Nutty Professor.
Sure.
Yeah, have you seen that movie?
Yeah, of course. It's a certified hood classic.
I think what is it? I think I was really trying to like probe and pull and like find some like hard hitting like self-reflection and like something like that. But
well, I mean,
wait. I think I think I don't know. Maybe you just hadn't like thought about it a lot. But I think like you provided me and the audience like what you could. But I guess can it be now my time to shine?
All right, sir. The floor is yours.
I think so. Yeah. So Arin coming up with this Jekyll and Hydeification that happens to people with social media was kind of me presenting this idea that when discussing this topic, I personally feel that usually the side that you see of people on social media, it is more likely to be like their worst side. Now, that's not always the case. You know, people post like the highlights of their life and stuff like that. But I think right now in like, I don't know, we'll just say like the cultural, the way American society is right now, it just seems like opinions and social media are all very like volatile. And so I feel like usually that's like where people's worst comes out through social media. And even since it kind of began, because my experiences of becoming a, I guess, Mr. Hyde on social media was mostly in my younger days of middle school, but then also a little bit in college, where I just feel like people say stuff a lot that they wouldn't, that like they say it on social media because it's easy to have that like distance or that whatever, where it's easy to leave a comment on like a YouTube channel where it's like, yo, this video freaking sucks. When like it would be a lot harder to like watch that video and then like say that to that person's face, you know? And that's, I think, my point. Before even diving into my thing, I guess I told you this before the podcast, but it's something I wanted to say on the podcast, is in middle school and at church, I guess that's somewhat relevant, but could have been left out. I met this girl that I didn't know her too well. I only met her once and then interacted with her a couple of times, but she was incredibly nice. Like she, I don't know, just seemed something about her. Just, she was very like wholesome. She kind of reminds me of like Sarah Caroline a little bit of just a really nice, like welcoming, pleasant person. But then on social media, and I already said this to you, but granted, like we were kids, you know, we're both in middle school, high school or whatever. On social media, she was like super annoying, where it's like all she did with her Facebook was like share posts where it was just like, share this or else you go to hell, or like share this if you love Jesus, or share this or this, like, and it had like pictures of like a demon or something, and it would be like, share this or this like demon will haunt you. And like for me as a middle schooler, like I hated seeing those pictures. They freaked me out. I was like, I'm not going to share this because I don't want to pass it on, but I don't want it to haunt me either. So like I feel like anytime I saw one of those, I got like paranoid for like a day or two, where I was like, dude, am I being haunted? Like that stuff really got under my skin. And then the worst one,
but I feel like, to me, that seems like your stock standard being an annoying kid. Not really.
There is some immaturity there, but I feel like there is still that, like, I feel like there's that Jekyll and Hyde-ness where like compare her in real life versus compare her on social media. And what is it? I was gonna say the worst one was, she was like,
you are so far away from the mic. My God.
Okay, well, I'm talking loud. I feel like I'm equally as far as you.
I mean, yes, but also you gotta see that it's pointing primarily this way.
All right, so I'm gonna only talk from here.
Oh my God.
No,
we won't have to worry about this for very long.
So the worst one was, it was like, share this or it'll happen to you. And I already told you about this, but I feel like I wanted to share my pain with the audience.
Okay.
It was like, share this or it'll happen to you. And it was like a very cut up thumb. And don't know if it was real, don't know how someone got this photo, but it very much disturbed me, where it looked like someone just like took their thumb, put it in like a pencil sharpener and just like twisted it. They tried to sharpen their thumb. It was very disturbing. And I was just like,
you described it, just trying to sharpen your thumb.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a very vivid and disturbing image.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Melissa.
I mean, I don't doubt it, but just trying to sharpen your thumb sounds very funny.
Okay, I like to inject humor. Okay, we do a bit of trolling on here.
Continue.
Anyway, that's maybe one of the other examples. Now let's move on to me. One of my examples, and What made me kind of look back and reflect on this was my crush on the girl previously mentioned in this episode
the one who betrayed you and broke your heart. Continue.
Yes, exactly. Because our relationship was solely on Facebook and because of the age gap, I felt like because of the age gap and her being older, I felt like I had more to prove. It's like, oh, I got to prove like I'm mature and like, you know, I'm actually like maturity wise, I'm actually 20 when I'm 18, you know. Since our relationship was entirely on Facebook, it caused me to look back and be like, oh, do I need to like get rid of anything that like she might look back and see? Because I assumed, you know, I assumed maybe she liked me too. You know, we had been sharing memes for like a year or two. And so I had to get rid of any evidence or any like, I don't know, past mistakes, we'll say. And looking back on them, it's like there was a lot of stuff that I thought was like really weird and really cringy where like I wish I still had it so that I could like look back, but like I completely Facebook just gone. I deleted it fully, can't look back. But the one that I remember most was I made a post after the Sandy Hook shooting,
which was in 2014.
I believe so. I don't know when, but it was the one with the guy and like the nursery school or like the kindergarten school, right?
It was an elementary school.
Okay. It was just young kids and it was terrible. And I made a post where like, this is me in middle well, depending on when it was, I think I was in middle school because I don't think I would have made this post in high school.
Maybe it was 2012.
Yeah. Anyway, when that happened, I felt my need to get my opinion out there about it. And I guess cringe warning, a CW, what if you will, a cringe warning. So what my post was, and I feel like I can remember it just because of how much I hate it, but like I said, like, I'm really at a loss for words for what this freak did today. One, I hate it already because it's like, if I'm at a loss for words, why am I posting it? Why am I making these words?
That was not nearly as cringe as I thought.
There's more.
Okay.
There's more. I said, what else did I say? I remember that. That's like the first sentence. I'm really at a loss for words for what this freak did today. Then there's actually a sentence I've forgotten. I feel like there's a sentence then, but then it transitioned to then like, I started like criticizing Obama. Where like, I was like, oh, and like, because Obama, like, you know, he addressed it or whatever. And I was like, really, Obama? It's like, show some emotion next time. Like, he didn't seem shook like I deemed he needed to be.
He's too stoic for you.
Yeah, I know. He's just such a grisly man. He needs to shed a tear or something. I'm making jokes. But, I know. Okay, but you didn't like it.
No, it's just describing Barack Obama as grisly is just funny to me.
Well, anyway, that's called comedy, Arin.
Excuse me. Let's not forget which one is the funnier one here.
Me. No. That's why I needed to remind you.
Whatever, go on. We're not going to discuss this.
Write in the comments who you think is funnier.
It's me.
You think. Let me tell you, it's there's one answer and it's
I am the right one.
It's not Arin.
Oh my God.
Anyway, no, like on one hand, it's a somewhat innocent post. Like it's not the worst thing in the world. But on the other hand, I'm like, why in middle school? It's like, oh, there's a school shooting. I need to like give my opinion on it. It's also kind of contradicting. It's like, why am I like I already said this, but why am I making these words if like I'm at a loss for words? Like, why am I guess the dude's a monster. Like he killed these like innocent kids. Like that's terrible. But it, like just calling him like a freak, it just seemed weird to me. And then this kind of segue into like criticizing Obama. It felt like everything, I don't know. I guess we'll say wrong with me at the time, but I feel like at the same time, like I don't feel like I would have been that way if I didn't have social media kind of as a catalyst or as a, you know, a small platform for me to just feel the need to give my opinion and make my voice heard. And I guess
you say that some people have never quite grown out of that.
Huh?
I said you say that some people have never quite grown out of that.
I mean, maybe, yeah.
I say it too, but you know.
I feel like, yeah, well, one thing, yeah, I feel like a lot of people just kind of say whatever they feel like, and it may be benign, but like, you know, I didn't know why the frick am I criticizing Obama for this like tragedy that like had nothing to do with him? It's like, sure, he addressed it, and it's like, sure, he had whatever emotional response he did, but it's like, why do I feel the need to say something about it? Like, why do I feel the need to like maybe take away from this like tragedy and then like make it about like, oh, Obama's not great, you know? Which I guess I don't have that opinion anymore, just for the record.
Well, so how do you feel about people who take certain situations and like make them about themselves? Like sometimes people...
I remember what I was going to say, but continue.
Okay. Sometimes there'll be like a situation and they'll kind of... I won't say selfishly because I don't think it comes from a selfish place. It's just from like maybe not reactionary is the right word, but it's just a natural reaction just to, let's say, I don't know, Russia invaded Ukraine today. And maybe I make a post being like, man, Russia invaded Ukraine. This makes me feel bad or something. I feel like there's a better way to convey this, but that's the gist of it. Maybe not that. Maybe not just saying like, oh, you know, this event makes me feel a certain way, but I guess more directly making it about yourself. Does that make sense? It felt like it didn't make sense.
I guess you didn't present it the best way, but I understand like what you're going for. I think like, well, something I wanted to say, something that like stuck with me in high school and also kind of shaped my thing with social media is I was in this like ACT prep class and for some reason we started talking about, Obama and there's this one guy, I guess like, what is it? I don't know. We'll call him Jake. And
Paul, go ahead.
He's a good guy, but he was a little bit annoying with like his conservative views, and like I feel like he had them purely because I guess that's just the way he was raised, and I feel like he was just kind of parroting his parents or parroting whatever conservative views he was hearing. And so in this ACT prep class, we were getting into this. I think this Jake guy, he threw out just like, oh yeah, like Obama's not a great president. You know what I mean? He's not as good as whoever came before him. I don't freaking remember.
W. Bush.
There we go. George Bush. You know, that's just so long ago. Like, anyway.
So that was in our lifetimes. I remember when he got the shoes thrown at him.
Yeah. I remember when I was like in kindergarten, but
oh my God, okay.
That was when he got in, I think. But anyway, regardless, he was talking about it. And then I guess this is after I stopped having a problem with Obama for no reason. I kind of asked him, I was like, why? Why is he a bad president? And then immediately he was like, oh, well, like, like he didn't have a reason. Like he didn't really know why he was saying what he was saying. And like that kind of became, I don't remember how, but it kind of grew into this like class debate where it's like everyone's kind of arguing and shouting of like, you know, whether or not Obama's a bad president.
So it's a debate in the class, not a debate about class.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted you to clarify.
Okay. I might have mixed up my words because I'm tired.
This is true.
And I do that from time to time. But no, so yeah, it kind of became this like shouting thing where it's like the class became chaos. Everyone's kind of just like shouting what they think. The teacher? I think she was kind of, I don't know. We weren't the best students. She was kind of there probably like quiet down, and then we were just like still going on. Yeah. It wasn't like as chaotic as probably is the picture I'm painting, but you know, we're talking about oil and war and whatever and Obama, like whatever topics are relevant to Obama back in like 2015, 2014.
That darn tan suit.
And what is it? Meanwhile, not being like other girls, I am refraining from this chaos, and I'm like, I really don't know enough about any of this to like say anything about it. And something that one guy, I guess because I'm talking about him in a positive light, his name was Clay. In hindsight,
Clay Aiken, go on.
Oh my God, stop giving fake names to my people.
What? Clay Aiken is a real person. I think he would be very upset to say that he's fake. But
okay, well, oh my God, you're rude. This.
Go on, Joseph, we're talking about Clay Aiken.
You're not funnier than me.
And yet here you are laughing.
I'm laughing at the situation because I find it funny.
Because I made it funny.
I find it funny that you think you're funnier than me.
Exactly. I made the situation funny.
By just your sheer ignorance.
Yeah, still funny though.
See, I'm
You're
being
still
too
laughing.
aggressive. I'm laughing at myself right now.
Well,
Moving on, Clay said something that has really like stuck with me since then, where it was like, I think he really liked, one, I just liked the compliment, but he really liked what I was saying, where he heard me say that. And then his response, he's like, well, he was joking, but he was just like, well, but I have an opinion and I think everyone should hear it. Like, and that, I feel like that class perfectly sums up like how I view social media. Everyone's just kind of shouting. Everyone's just kind of giving their opinion. And I feel like most people genuinely are not knowledgeable enough to be like commenting and giving their opinion on whatever they're giving their opinion on.
And while the girls are fighting, I'm pointing and laughing. Yeah. That's how I view social media.
I think I'm just more, I don't know, more just like disappointed. I'm like, why, you know, we should all just come together, you know, like we just, you know, we all live on the same earth. I'm making a reference to a Tio video, but trying to be like wholesome. No, I feel like I don't like conflict if it can be avoided. And so, yeah, I feel like after that point, I was like, yeah, I don't really want to give my opinion on like things I know nothing about, like the quality of Obama's presidency and other things. But so I think that was partially my experience of like being a Hyde. One other example, Is this a long example? It's a brief one. We can use it to tease this video that we're going to film at some point.
Yes.
My experience with BU Confessions. I think the online and the anonymity that came with BU Confessions, which was I think we talked about it before, but it was the
last episode.
Okay. I guess just in case they haven't heard that episode.
You should listen to that episode, by the way.
Spoilers for the previous episode. It was a like anonymous, like just board for our school. Mm-hmm. And I really liked it. I really gravitated towards it. I liked the anonymity and I liked posting on there a lot. But eventually some of the people on there were kind of being a little bit like rude. And then I don't know. I also kind of like joined in on that, where like I made a post where I was like, yo, like, what's this guy doing here? I was like, I feel like he's like
bullying
a little bit. Well, I mean, okay, wait, here, hold up.
Okay, what was the context?
I don't. Well, hear me out.
All right.
He was kind of rude on some of the posts. He would kind of just say a lot of things and like. Okay,
so you're talking about someone online.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not just like randomly pointing out.
It was on
campus.
No, it was on the BU Confessions thing.
Okay.
So he was like, on BU Confessions, he was a bit like rude and aggressive. Like someone would post something and then he might make fun of their post. Now, it's anonymous. He doesn't know who he's making fun of, but it still kind of hurts. And I think I was kind of hurt by that. So then using the anonymity of the posts, I kind of like, not really criticized him, but just like wanted to voice my frustration. And I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm just saying my mindset. And so basically I made an anonymous post where I was like, what's this guy doing on this page? Like he seems to be like a part of it, but it seems like no one really likes him. Now, I was voicing my opinion. By the way, I am a freshman. This guy is a graduate of Belhaven, so he's significantly older than me.
Which means he can.
It's just saying. It's maybe saying I'm immature and he is maybe not super mature for like. I mean,
he's also on this page, so.
Well, I'm just saying for being like kind of petty on it. You know? And I was being petty too, but I was also like a freshman, which doesn't excuse it. It's just kind of saying like that's where I was at. I was young and I was immature. And one thing that I kind of learned, like. He responded to that. He was like, yo, what the frick? Like, who are you? Like, and it's like, yo, if you're going to say something to me, like say it to my face, bitch. Like,
really?
Yeah. He really took it in stride. And I
don't think that's taking it in stride. That's the opposite of taking it in stride. He took it out of stride.
Okay. I don't know. Well,
he tripped and fell over that one.
Well, okay. My take on it is then him getting that comment. I was like, oh, frick. I didn't really think about what I'm saying or who I'm saying it to. I didn't know this guy. I didn't know, like, you know, I maybe didn't like him. I may have had like a little side of beef. But I don't know. It just really, his comments, like right or wrong, I guess, it just really made me think about it. Like, oh, like I felt sorry. I felt bad. And so like, I actually responded to him. I was like, hey, like, it was me. Like, I'm sorry. I didn't like, I didn't really, I don't know. I guess it wasn't really thinking about it and like, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Did he respond?
He doubled down. He was like, yeah, well, like, you better think about that next time or something. Like, he was mean.
Oh my God.
He kept being mean back, and like, he kept being mean to me. But like, I guess that just speaks about like this person. But like, for me,
how is it?
I didn't know him. I only knew him through Facebook. Do you want me to like name drop him? Like, it won't matter.
And I mean, if you remember,
I think it was like
that name is familiar.
He was a big person on BU Confessions. I don't know where else though, but
okay.
I guess bleep that out. But
yeah.
What is it? I think that interaction, like he was really mean to me back, and I don't think that was right. But I don't think what I did was right to begin with either. Mm-hmm. And I think that really made me reflect on it. It's like, man, I should really like, I don't want to like hurt anybody. And I think with the anonymity and I guess this social page, like I got really comfortable with that. I felt like I could say whatever and not really think about its consequences. And, even if that dude doubled down and kept being mean to me, even after the fact, which really did hurt, I feel like I'm glad that I owned up to it and said sorry, even if he didn't really accept it. But I think that, I guess I keep saying like every little thing was like kind of like the beginning of my journey of like getting rid of social media. But really I guess everything's kind of a step where it just, it makes me think about it differently and think like, this might not be healthy, and like, especially not healthy for me, and especially not for like other people and how I interact with the world and treat people and all of that. And so, but we can learn from this more whenever we make this video. But did you have anything you wanted to say in response? Any questions you wanted to ask? I love the questions.
Well, I mean, I think you laid it all out pretty clearly. I can't wait to go through this. Oh my goodness.
I have to be in control. I won't have a poker face. You'll be like, yo, is this you? And I'll be like that.
Okay.
Hoping the mic pick that up. Anyway.
I hope not. But no, while you were saying that unlocked a memory for me. I had a similar situation myself. So back in the Dizzy on tumblr.com, there used to be basically just like BU Confessions, an anonymous blog where you can like submit stuff, but it was called Artist Grapevine. And basically it's where you can kind of gossip about other Tumblr artists. And boy, that spicy. Spicy. What are you about to do?
I wanted to read the notes.
Okay, there's really nothing in the notes. There's like 2 bullet points. But yeah, that just reminded me of Artist Grapevine. I think, let's see. I can't remember when it started because I don't think I was around when it started, but I think I was active on it around 2017. And oh my goodness, the girls were fighting. That's all I can say. Anybody who remembers artistgrapevine.tumblr.com, okay, you know what I'm talking about. What?
I feel like
it was just a memory for me. I don't have anything to add. Do you want to get
specific?
No. Well, I mean, there was something that no. We've already been going too long. I can't.
Okay.
I'll tell you off the pod.
Okay.
You guys won't get to hear it.
Don't bully our audience. They're going to be upset.
They'll be fine. I promise you.
How will you know?
Well, they certainly
type in the chat if you're fine.
Anyways, I think that's a good place to stop. So, any parting words?
What is it? I guess this episode is brought to you by Meta and their plummeting stock prices.
Yeah.
Let us hope they continue to plummet.
Yeah, let's hope they actually pull out of the EU. Could you imagine? Oh my goodness.
I watched Critical's. I mean, this is just end of show talk. I watched Critical's latest video on the metaverse. He said they did like some sort of sports presentation that was really bad.
I have no idea.
Yeah, they had like...
It must have been during the Super Bowl.
It was like some press conference. It wasn't an ad. Okay. But like they had Shaq on. They were promoting this like coach program that was going to help athletes. Obama was there.
You're lying.
I'm not.
Oh my God.
Obama was on the Zoom call. I don't know why he was there. What he was doing. I'm for real. I'm for real. Obama was there. Shaq was there. And
oh God.
It's their new like coach something program to help athletes train with an AI. You can become a better basketball player with...
I can become Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
That's great. I guess I'll have to look at it. Jesus. Anyways.
We watch the video once we stop recording, maybe.
How long is it? It's 10 o'clock.
We can skip through it.
Okay. I'll look at it.
Yeah, we're both pretty sleepy.
Exactly. I'm literally rubbing the sleep out of my eyes. Anyways.
Episode 8 needs to just be us, like, snoring.
My goodness. But anyways, this has concluded episode 7 of the Not Just Arin podcast. We are on all podcast platforms. Subscribe to us there. Spotify, Apple, Google. I think that's it. I don't know where else. Oh, Anchor. Leave us a voice message on Anchor if you want. Don't know what we're going to do with them yet, but it would be nice to have them.
Let's form a parasocial relationship.
Yeah. Follow us on our social media, which is bad. Twitter and Instagram are both Not Just Arin Pod. If you want to discuss all things Not Just Arin on the metaverse, use the hashtag NJAPod, and we might see it, we might not. That's entirely dependent on if you use the hashtag, so otherwise we won't see it. I know you didn't want me to say this, but we are actually getting new equipment. The episode after this one will sound much better. I assure you, it's going to be great. And it's all thanks to the Internal Revenue Service, so give it up for them. So yeah, that's it. I'm honestly tired. I'm so tired. Oh my God. I'm so sleepy.